and welcome to Hanging Out with Bob, podcast hosted by me, Bob Edholm. Thanks for joining us, and let's get started. So, if you're a high school coach, no matter the sport, how do you define a successful season? Is it only about winning a championship? Or is it about developing each team member's inner strength? It's been said by someone smarter than me that you get the best effort from others not by lighting a fire beneath them, but by building a fire within them. Or is it about the power of perseverance? That is, the notion of student athletes pushing past the point of perceived inability and conquering their own limitations. How about building team and personal growth? Emphasizing the importance of each team member's contribution and collective effort for overall success. How about all of the above? Now, imagine accomplishing all of those things: inner strength, the power of perseverance, and team and personal growth, and going on to win a high school state championship. Well, that's exactly what happened in Decorah, Iowa, with Decorah High School's girls cross-country team in 1976, in only the second year of a team's existence. And here to talk about that magical season is the man who coached that championship team nearly 50 years ago. He's Darryl Landas, who was a teacher and coach in the Decorah Public Schools for 33 years, before retiring in what year, Darryl?
2001.
2001. Darryl, welcome to Hanging Out with Bob.
Oh, thank you.
Darryl and his wife Beth live in Decorah. They were snowbirds who spent the winter months in the Villages, Florida, which is about a 65-mile drive from the Orlando airport. I know that because I saw Darryl several times when I was down there visiting my aunt, my mom's kid sister, who also lives in the Villages. But Darryl and Beth sold their home in the Villages in 2024 and now live year-round in Decorah when they're not traveling, of course. Full disclosure here, I've known Darryl Landas for nearly 50 years now. After I had graduated from the University of Minnesota in 1976 with a degree in journalism, I accepted a position as sports editor of Decorah Newspapers in September of 1976. And because Darryl was then coach of the girls' cross-country team at Decorah High School, I got to know him right away. I worked on the newspaper in Decorah for 3 years, and so he and I had a great working relationship then, but even better, we've remained friends for nearly half a century. I'm actually recording this interview in Decorah at the kitchen table in Darryl and Beth's house, and not from the usual palatial recording studio in my apartment in Columbia Heights, Minnesota. So, Darryl, let's step back in time to that special 76 season. Actually, let's step back to the 1975 season when you started with the girls' cross-country team.
I came to Decorah in 1970, and cross-country was a word that I didn't understand, but I had a student who had indicated that her father had been, at a point in time, a cross-country coach at Luther, Kitty Nelson. Mm-hmm. And I better not call her Kitty now because she is called Kate. So, and she's no longer Nelson, but that's fine. I became the assistant track coach for Bob Topping, the legendary Bob Topping, in the 73-74 year, and kind of got the idea that there were kids that wanted something maybe a little bit longer. Had some of the juniors and seniors were asking questions about what would it take to make that happen. So I asked some questions, and after some discussion, we were able to try cross-country on a one-year basis, one-year trial basis, and the trial basis was fine. The kids seemed to be motivated. I didn't have to motivate. They were motivated. Their skill levels were broad skill levels. Tried to get the best out of everybody, and that was sometimes we had people trying a little too hard, and you ended up with injuries and kind of bumped back and forth with that. First meet we had was an invitational where we were in a meet with the team who the previous year had been state runner-up. Ouch, we're going to get hammered, I thought. Well, it ended up that being a 20-66 victory. It was a shock for me. It was a shock for the girls. It was very much a positive influence. Probably the freshmen that year who made things happen: Karen Evans, Mary Motzel, Sarah Nelson, Chris Hovda, and Marcia Kephart, along with Nelson and Spilde and Engelhardt. Senior leadership came from Karen Pfister and help from Michelle Barr. So it was an interesting season. We made it to the districts, and we were sweating whether we'd be able to make it. We came in second at the district meet, which was all well and good. It was our
Again,
ticket.
this was the first year.
This is the first year, right. Yes.
Right.
That was our ticket to the state, and we were just very happy to be there. Didn't know what was going to happen. Ended up going to Adel, where the state championship was held, and we shocked ourselves. We finished 7th. Very, very good performances out of the team.
1976, by the way, just to kind of put things in context, that was the year of the bicentennial in America, when a gallon of gas was about 59 cents, when the average cost of tuition at a public university, say Iowa or Minnesota, was around $617 per year, when the average price for a new car was approximately $5,450. Back then, in the mid-'70s, Darryl, with his darker hair, looked like he and Buddy Holly could have been separated at birth. Or maybe it was actor Gary Busey who played Buddy Holly in the biopic that I saw at the Viking movie theater here in Decorah in the late 1970s. And me, well, I actually still had my hair back in the mid-'70s. But I digress. Darryl, as much as we reported on your cross-country teams when I worked at Decorah Newspapers, why don't you set the stage for some of the things that led up to that magical 1976 season? As I alluded to it earlier, this was only the second year of girls cross-country at Decorah.
Well, probably the most important thing is we got approval to have a second season.
Okay.
Okay, that's I guess Superintendent Burns says we will give it another year on the trial, see how things go. He said with a smile. And it's,
was it really like on a trial basis?
Oh yeah. That's how we got to get our foot in the door, and the girls knew that this is a trial, because there weren't many sports for females. There was golf and softball. Track had started in the 72 season, 71 or 72 season. So yeah, it was a trial basis. So we were just into things getting around what Title IX was, and it's I have to say Decorah was reasonably progressive as far as the Title IX was concerned. But it was the summer proceeding is that the gals decided to put a little more work into the summer. They got together as a group. I was not around. They anything that they did was something that they did because they were self-motivated. Oh. And it's a whole lot easier working with a group of gals that is as self-motivated as this group
was,
and still is.
If you would, Darryl, talk about each of the runners on that 76 varsity unit. As I recall, most of them were not seniors, right?
Not seniors, not juniors. There were 3 sophomores and 2 freshmen. We had a couple of sophomores that ended up injured early in the season. They think maybe a little too much work in the summer. Marcy Kephart and Mary Motzel both lost most of the season to some nagging injuries. So that opened the door for a couple of new freshmen to move in, and
those were the twins, right?
Those were twins. Those were the Pilgrim twins.
Wow.
They were our number 4 and 5 runners.
What were their first names again?
Paula and Julie.
Ah, yeah.
And Paula, you may know at this point, is the mother of a little guy by the name of Josie Jewell, who is a bit larger than his mother, but has probably as much or more intensity.
Wow. Yeah, he played football at Iowa, and now he's in the NFL, right?
He was in the NFL and has taken an injury settlement that
Okay.
he was with the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Got dinged late on the 24th of December a year ago, and his concussion protocol.
Right. Oh, okay. Interesting. So it was a young group of girls on that 76 team then, so.
Yeah, very young, and they like to have fun.
Yeah.
They worked hard, but they like to have fun too, so that made it enjoyable.
Refresh my memory, Darryl. How were the girls' country seasons set up? Was it mostly dual meets, or were there invitationals, just like the regular season I'm talking about?
The regular season, you'd have probably a couple, three smaller meets, duals, triangulars,
Right.
and you'd have invitationals. We had, I want to say, 5 or 6 invitationals, which included a conference, a district, and a state meet,
Okay.
which was just kind of a progression. We had tabs on times we'd had previous years on given courses, so we knew that a certain time at one course is very good at another course, or isn't. So that was, I guess, after having been around for a few years, looking back, it was always nice to know that when you ran the Luther course, you know it was going to be probably 15 to 25 seconds slower than the previous courses.
Right.
You ran the North Fayette, it's going to be even more slowed down, because that was a terrific course.
Okay.
To run, so.
Now, that 76 season, were you basically undefeated? Did you win all your dual meets and invitationals, or do you recall?
We won conference, district, and state. That was, I guess, those are the big ones, and I guess we figured everything else was training for that.
Yeah.
I do believe that we had, I believe the Luther meet, we had some of the Dubuque schools in, and a couple schools out of the Twin Cities, which again, that's good competition. It's,
Absolutely.
You don't learn by beating everybody. You
Right.
learn by competing with people who are much better than you are.
Right. I was going to ask you, Darryl, who was your biggest competitors? Do you recall, like, which schools, whenever you met, were always, you knew they were going to be the main competition?
Waverly, Shell Rock, Cresco,
okay.
New Hampton,
Oh,
Walk-On.
all Northeast Iowa Conference schools at the time.
Northeast. At the point in time that of the mid to late 70s, the northeast corner of Iowa was the hotbed of cross country. But that it has changed somewhat today in 2025. Is that probably the center of that is in the central Iowa, in the Ames and Des Moines area,
Okay.
working east and west, basically between Highway 20 and Highway 30. But again, that's where it's evolved.
Darryl, what was involved in the postseason then? You had your conference meet, you had district, and then state?
Yeah. We had 9-day gaps
Okay.
at conference meet. Won that. 9 days prepare for the district or the state qualifying meet, and that was again we had ways that we prepared for that. Once we got qualified for the state meet, we would start focusing on things that we had to do time-wise. We were probably more time-sensitive than mechanic sensitive. In other words, we'd worked on the mechanics previous to this. We worked on looking at what are we doing when we are fatigued and we know we have that hill.
Yeah.
So we would do some work that would involve practicing that.
Right. Where did you train here in town? I mean, did you go to Luther? Are there golf courses here? Where did you go to run?
Any place we could find a hill.
Okay. Well, there's lots of hills in this part of the country.
There
so.
are hills here. It's,
Okay.
We got a couple secret hills that we worked on, and that was I would not want to divulge where those were.
Yeah.
But when we worked that hill, the gals would ask, where are we working out, what kind of workout we have today. And when I said it's going to be a short, easy workout, they kind of cringed, and we knew we wouldn't have a meet for 3 or 4 days afterwards. But it was one that was very sensitive to mechanics, transition with turns, uphills, downhills, because you every 2 or 3 steps you can pick up here and there. By the time you get to the end of the race, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
If you can extend your stride by 3 inches, 3 inches doesn't sound like much until you're into 1,900 steps. You multiply 1,900 times 3 inches, and you've got a pretty good distance.
You were a math teacher, weren't you?
Yes, yes.
No, it's good. How many, at that time, Darryl, how many classes were there? This is based on enrollment, right?
Right.
What were you class? What was Decorah's class?
We were the class. There was only one class.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Classification didn't occur until, I believe, 1980.
Wow. Okay.
And they broke it down into 1, 2, and 3A. It presently is 1, 2, 3, and 4A.
Wow. Okay, so you really were the state champs. I mean, the best.
Wow.
Amazing.
Well, you were there. You saw it.
But I couldn't remember if there were classes. That's what I don't remember.
No.
I just remember, interesting. Okay. Now, I know that the most important ranking of any sports squad is the ranking after the state championship. But do you recall where the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union had ranked the Decorah's cross-country squad during the regular season, postseason, before the state meet?
That association didn't have much. The writers had us 7th or 8th.
Really? Okay.
Which is always nice.
Sure. It gives you incentive then,
It takes the pressure off.
Right. And like you said, you won both the NEIC, the Northeast Iowa Conference, and the district meets. How did that work back then? I'm trying to remember. Did you have did the conference have an all-conference squad, individual runners that were recognized, or was it as a team? Do you remember?
I think we had the top 10 were all conference.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I just wonder how that worked. If each school may have had runners, or if they just rewarded the team overall.
The girls, the individual honors weren't a big deal with them. That's what made those teams special. And it continues to this day with one of my former athletes having taken over after I retired. It is what we do, not what I do.
Really a team concept. Then.
Oh, yes, very definitely a team concept.
Okay. Let's talk briefly about the conference meet and the district meet. Where were those held? Do you remember? I think I went to one of those. One of them was in Cresco, I thought. Okay. Where was the district meet held, Darryl?
Okay, the district meet was held at West Union.
Okay.
On a course where 15 years earlier, my dad had the contract on finishing the seating on the course, so I knew the course reasonably well.
Yes.
So
both the district and the state were held at North or in West Union.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't remember where the district was held. I was at the state meet, but in the conference meet in Cresco, that I remember. So I must not have been able to go to that. So. Yeah. Okay, so let's go on to that state meet then in 1976. It was in West Union, Iowa, which incidentally is where you grew up, right? That was your hometown. Right. West Union's about a 45-minute drive from here, maybe?
Yes.
Just go straight south?
Yep.
How did that feel for you, bringing your talented group of runners from Decorah to compete in the state meet, and what was your hometown?
A little scary, I guess. It's I had a lot of my friends and former teachers. Former government teacher Steve Story was the AD there, and so it was.
So you knew a lot of these people then.
Oh yeah, we've seen a lot of people, and it's. I remember that it was a very cold day.
Yeah.
It was a very cold day that day, and it was. We were able to do some stretching in a classroom, which we were able to get inside, and.
Was the school right next to the golf course?
Oh yeah, no, this wasn't a golf course. This is the school campus.
Okay.
Yeah, their golf course, which they don't have anymore, was about 4 miles away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I was confused. I thought for some reason it was on a golf course where you were in the state meet.
No.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
The previous year was at a golf course, but
okay. Okay. Because aren't most cross-country meets held at places like golf courses?
Yeah. You usually are, and that's
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you clarified that, because for some reason I thought we were at a golf course that day. So, but it was at the school, right next to the school.
Right,
So that way your team was able to get inside and stretch.
Yeah,
and It was cold. I remember that.
It was very cold. Yeah.
I took a picture of my brother who came down there with me,
Yeah.
and he had a stocking hat on and a jacket. So obviously, when you start running, you warm up. But it wasn't like today.
No.
In the 80s. So
No.
Okay, all right. What was that course like? The condition. It was in late October. Was the ground wet? Was it hard? Was it hilly? Was it curvy?
It was very wet. It was there were places where it was soggy, and places I knew it was going to be soggy because they didn't have it tiled exactly the right. It hadn't been tiled right before it was seeded. I can tell you that.
Wow.
And there was we avoided where it was sloppy, and we probably ran an extra 20, 30 yards, but we didn't end up with mud up to our heels.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
It was very, very good course, very challenging course. I mean, it was well staked out. Bob Scott did a super job.
Bob Scott is
was the North High coach.
Oh, okay.
The legendary North Fayette coach.
Okay.
He's done a lot for a lot of running programs. So.
Okay. And you said your squad was able to warm up before the race. How did they seem? I mean, these are just young girls. This is a state tournament or state meet where they. How did they seem to you as your coach? Did they seem confident, or?
It seemed like any other meet. I mean, it's we have a job to do. We got to get ready to do the job. We'll do the job.
Mm-hmm.
In that way, it wasn't real stressful. I mean,
Okay.
I was a little antsy, but
I was going to ask, how were you the night before the meet?
Kind of like a cat in a sand pile. But
now, back then, this is 1976, before metric system took over a lot of distances. Wasn't it a 2-mile course?
It's 2 miles.
It was, okay. Now, once the meet was underway, and the girls are out there running, and you're able to move around during a race, right, as a coach, because I remember I'd follow you sometimes.
Yeah.
And when did you start, at what point were you noticing, saying, hey, I think we're doing pretty good? I mean, we might be able to win this thing. At what point did you start to feel that way?
We were about the half-mile mark, and our number 5 would have been Julie Pilgrim, was still with Paula Pilgrim, and we were pretty well. Paula was within reach of Karen Evans.
Okay.
And Sarah Nelson and Linda Hart were still chatting as they were running. I think they talked through the entire race. At least that's what one of the other coaches said, that, do those girls ever shut up? And those are 2 of the more quiet girls on the squad. But I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe they just like to talk and run. But
what did they talk about? I'll have to ask them maybe.
You'll have to ask them.
I get tired just walking, let alone talking.
Yeah. It's,
interesting. Well, they sound like they were definitely ready. You had them prepared. So okay, wow. I know it's been almost a half century since that meet now. It's 1976, but do you recall who the individual winner of that race was? What school she was from?
Gal out of Unity Christian, Yvonne Meninga.
Okay.
Who ended up...
now, where is Unity Christian? What part of the state?
That's in northwest Iowa.
Oh, okay.
It is a private Dutch Reformed school.
Okay. She was the individual champion, so I just wondered who that was. So
I got to meet her... probably 10 years later, just really a neat gal. So,
did she run after that, after high school?
She ran at a small college. I think she may have run at Northwestern Iowa.
Oh, okay.
In that.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
The runner-up, I knew reasonably well,
Marcia Votz, who was essentially a family that I was familiar with. So it was
She was from North? She finished second? Okay. And Darryl, how did each of your runners place in that race then?
In that race, they ran quite well, I thought. Linda Hart was 6th. Sarah Nelson was 9th. Paula Pilgrim was 31st. Karen Evans was 36th, and that's where we got our 4 team scores came from. And Julie Pilgrim was close behind at 55th.
Okay. Oh, awesome. That's great. That's great.
And this was against all classes.
Well, obviously Decorah was number one, but who was like second, third? Did you have like the top four, top five schools, or
North Fayette, who was the
host
home team,
yeah,
and they were
yeah.
defending state champions.
Oh, okay.
It was an 82 to 93, so that was close. It was very competitive.
Wow.
And then you get into the big schools. Bettendorf was 143, Cedar Rapids Kennedy 179, Spencer 191, and you got a lot of the big state schools or schools in the state
Sure.
Didn't fare as well as some of the small schools. That kind of reflects, looking back at how girls basketball was. A lot of your
I was just going to say, I can remember living down here then. It was the smallest schools that dominated.
Yeah.
It took a few years, and
Yes,
finally
yes.
yeah.
It's by the time they got around to the 80s, the classification system came in. I can't recall exactly
Okay.
when that happened, but
Right.
I know it happened before 80 because we were a 2A champion in 80. So
Okay. All right. Well, obviously the girls were thrilled to win the state championship. How did you feel as a coach of that team that won the state championship in only its second year?
lucky. I was the right place, the right time.
Yeah.
I was blessed with parents that understood that athletics require sacrifice and hard work, and it had great parents.
Yeah.
Had great parents. I didn't have any assistant coaches, which made things nice. It's probably some of my preparation for the competition. A gentleman who is now deceased by the name of Bill Bergen, who was the Iowa State track and cross country coach. His sister is my aunt, so
Interesting.
he spent some time with me putting things together. So
Yeah.
just from the mental aspect, so he was a great help.
Yeah, I'm glad you included that. What was your inspiration? What helped you, to prepare as a coach and help the girls?
Another person I would have to mention would be a junior high coach that I had. I guess he won high school track season. It was Tex Heyer. Tex Heyer, who now runs an abstract office in West Union. Phenomenal guy. The advice he gave me is take care of the kids. The kids will take care of you. And, he was right.
Well, I know that for me, as sports editor of Decorah Newspapers at the time, it was a fun sports section to paste up for the Decorah Public Opinion that would be out that following Tuesday. Lots of photos, a longer story, lots of good quotes from you. This was back in '76, of course. No digital photos then. I had to take the pictures at the meet, of course, and then come back to Decorah, develop the film, print the pictures, write the story. Lots of time spent in that newspaper's darkroom. And I remember, Darryl, that weekend, you came to the newspaper when I was up there in the darkroom developing prints, because you had asked if you could have maybe a couple photos that I could give to the girls. And I remember we just kind of talked about that. We talked about life. We covered a lot of ground, but I think that's when you and I really became friends, as well as having a good working relationship. I just remember that was a special time, that year, that team. How did the school community react to the girls winning the state cross country meet? Because again, this is before social media. There's no Facebook, no Instagram. Nobody's on their phone saying, we won the state. Yeah. What was there like a school assembly to honor the team, or a parade? I remember that Monday morning I was busy getting the newspaper ready, but how did the school react?
We did get back on a fire truck back to the school.
Nice.
That was about it. We had our potluck a week later, which we gave out the awards, and it was that state championship was a lot more enjoyable. We had one where a later state championship where there was ice on the pond, and some fathers had busted the ice that the girls were bound determined they were going to throw me in the pond. Fortunately, sanity prevailed.
Wow. And as I recall, in '76, wasn't it just a week later the boys cross-country team won the state meet?
Yeah.
Seemed like a back-to-back state championship.
Yeah, they were down
really special
Waterloo.
time.
Yeah.
I remember going to that. Well, full disclosure, I was with Decorah Newspapers through the Nordic Fest in July 1979, which means I also covered the 1977 and 78 cross-country seasons. The Decorah girls cross-country squad didn't win the state championship in either of those two seasons, but there were things that happened. I remember there were some injuries to some key runners, which made it tough, and plus it's just hard to repeat. I mean, it was very competitive.
Well, they drew a target on our back, and it was Karen Evans' family moved to Ames, and she attended Ames High School, had some health issues, and didn't run competitively again. So,
so you lost one of the runners from '76, then. So
Mary Motzel was always the overtrainer, and I mean she ran parts of 4 seasons and just couldn't keep her healthy. She was. The concept of slowing down and maybe not pushing quite as hard. Again, she wanted to succeed so bad. Marcy Kephart, pretty much the same way. And it's just everybody's got a different personality. Sure. Some can be convinced to take it a little easier. Some can be convinced to work a little harder. And that's with young ladies, that's a little different than dealing with young men. It's because it's things you do to motivate guys is different than to motivate girls. It's there is a difference.
Yeah. And I said it's hard to repeat. It's hard for anybody. You know, there's competition. You know, that's where they have the meet. So, and just for the record, Darryl, how many times did Decorah's girls cross country squad win state championships while you were coaching? You won 76,
76, 80, and 82.
Okay, so you got 3 state championships. Oh, that's impressive.
The kids did. Yeah.
No, that's great.
The kids got it. I got to ride the bus.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they have great amount of respect for you too as their coach. I'm sure it was so. Couple more things. Have you been able to stay in touch with these girls over the years? It's been a long time, but I mean...
I chatted with Sarah Nelson probably 10 years ago at around Nordic Fest time. She's teaching out in, I want to say, Idaho State, I believe, is at the time I was talking with her, she was... foreign language, I believe she was a French teacher.
Really? Okay.
Karen Evans is in the Des Moines area. I guess she's there. I'm not sure as far as the work. Mary Motzel now lives in the Phoenix area. She had 2 sons. One of them who played Division I basketball in I think the Pioneer League. Played overseas balls for 3 or 4 years. Good young man.
Right.
Julie Pilgrim is a teacher. She's out in Western now, I believe. Married a Gerlid boy. She was teaching. Paula Pilgrim is teaching in Decorah at St. Benedict's. She's got 4 kids that were athletes.
And one played pro football.
Well, this is, if people wonder, where did he get the intensity? I know Bobby was a very good and very intense football player, but Paula was one in practice. I never wanted to be in the path of where she wanted to run because I was always wondering if she was going to run over top of me. And that she's a peach of a gal. Now, Josie is son has done wonderful things for people with disabilities. If you get me started, you won't get me shut up. But he's done a lot of good things.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. You know, for those that you do keep in touch with, Darryl, please let them know about this podcast. Send them an email or something like that. Okay. Maybe they can let their friends, their families, their kids, grandkids, maybe.
Oh yeah. Well, I know it's grandkids because you're going to the football game tonight. You will look at the head football coach is married to Paula's oldest daughter.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Wow.
And if you happen to watch the volleyball, one of the better volleyball players is her granddaughter.
Oh, so that's great. That's great.
Or you watch the basketball team, the granddaughter. It's
it's funny. You and I are both boomers, septuagenarian boomers, and what that means is that we were in our 20s in the 70s, and now we're in our 70s during the 20s. But I digress. Here's another question I got for you. Do you ever miss it, the coaching, working with student athletes, seeing them grow, develop, accomplish some pretty special things?
I like the student athletes. I liked working with them. Some of the other things I don't miss. Sometimes unrealistic expectations by community or parents. Kids are kids. Kids are going to do what kids do.
Yeah.
I can't magically touch someone on the arm and make them good. I can't say an awful lot or do an awful lot to make them good. That has to be something that is in their heart. If it's not in their heart to be good, I'm wasting my breath. And when I get advice from people who don't understand, I don't really need it. And that's where I don't need the headache.
Right. Well, no one can take the memories, the satisfying moments, the championships away, and seeing the girls develop and grow, and seeing as young persons and grow up and define people. So, and the other thing too, I just was reading this somewhere else. I don't have the actual percentage, but I'm quite certain that the number of coaches who win a state championship, any sport, is a relatively small portion of all high school coaches. Look at those that probably did something for decades and never had a state champion. You had 3.
But, many of those coaches accomplished more than I ever could dream of doing, because the state championships aren't what are important. The desire for the state championship is. And I think that there are many great coaches out there that try to instill those values. And it's some coaches get blind lucky. I mean, I had 89 teams over my career, and
including all sports,
and 5 state championships. All right, and that's 1 out of 20, roughly.
Yeah. What were the other 2 championships?
Boys, 90 and 92.
Boys cross country.
Yeah.
That's right. You became head coach after Mike Fitzgerald. So, okay. Wow. That's impressive. Darryl, the nice thing about podcasting, unlike newspaper articles or even broadcasts, there's no space or time limitations. Back in the mid-'70s, when I was sports editor of Decorah Newspapers, long before newspapers could be read online, when it was strictly print media, there was only so much space I could have for a story. And even with radio or TV broadcasts, there's only so much time to tell a story. But with this podcast, we've been able to take as much time as we needed to take or wanted to take. And I think there's a part of me that's wanted to do this type of full-length interview with you since that 1976 season. So I'm glad we've had a chance to do this after 50 years.
I'm happy to make you happy.
And then there's one more thing I wanted to ask you. Shortly after that 76 cross-country team had won the state championship, there was a publication, a newspaper that covered the Iowa high school sports. And you and your championship team were featured in that newspaper. And what was the name of that publication? Do you remember? Is it somewhere on that page at the top?
Iowa High School Athletic News.
Okay. And I remember, I think you actually showed me this article. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it was Rick Fromm who wrote the article. Rick, I got to know really well because he had been at Decorah Newspapers, a couple sports editors before I got there. But I got to know him because when he was down in Owine as the sports editor of that daily down there, he called me when I started and wished me luck and that stuff. And so I got to know him really well. But I seem to remember in that article, for some reason, your last name was wrong. It was was it Larson?
Yeah, Larson, Darryl Larson. Yeah, no.
I'm thinking, wait a minute here. Yeah. And I know it wasn't Rick's. Rick wrote a great article. I have a feeling somehow it was a copy editor to that newspaper thought,
I would guess so.
It can't be Landas. So he just, he could have called you and said, I want to make sure about the name.
Whatever.
So throughout the article it says Larson, but we all knew it was Landas. So.
Rick did a lot of great writing over a long period of time.
Yeah.
Now, you may or may not agree with his opinion, but he had he believed in his opinion and defended it and didn't back away, and that's I can deal with that.
Sure, yeah. Yep. No, I'm glad you kept that article because I was trying to remember what the name of that newspaper was, and that's really special that you kept it after all those years. I'm going to give you the last word, Darryl. Again, it's been almost 50 years since the Decorah girls cross-country team won that state championship, and just the second year of girls cross-country at Decorah. And looking back at that achievement, what is your biggest takeaway of that year, that season? What do you think made it so special for you and for the girls on that championship squad?
Girls can be successful in a stressful sport. They treated hard work positively. You look at where they have gone, and I'm not looking at just the top varsity runners. I'm talking across the board. They are winners. They succeed because they understand work is needed for success. And we is a whole lot more important than me.
Well said. Well said. Well, this has been a blast, Darryl. It was great to come down here to beautiful Decorah, Iowa, a place that will always hold a special place in my heart, to get together with you and have you share your memories of that special season in 1976, when the Decorah girls cross-country team won the state championship in only their second season. Thanks for nearly 50 years of friendship, and thanks again for making time to join me on this podcast, Darryl.
See you later, big guy.
And to our listeners, again, thanks for hanging out with me, Bob Edholm, and my guest, Darryl Landas. Not Larson, Landas. Landas. We hope you'll join us for the next episode of Hanging Out with Bob, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And until then, bye.